A very good morning to you all. Thank you for joining on time. My name is Vimal and I'll be your host for this live event on Jabra PanaCast 50. So let me introduce the speakers today. Sujan Suresh from Director ZILLIONe Technologies, Peter Jayasila, Managing Director from Jabra South Asia, Vinod Kumar, Business Development Manager for Video Solution and Marketing Manager for Indian SAC, Sundar Ganeshan. So at the end, a Q&A session will be there. So you can use the chat option or the raise the hand option to ask questions and get clarifications. Our resource panel will be answer all the questions and help you to clarify your doubts. Without taking much time, let me introduce Sujan Suresh to continue this live event. Over to you, Sujan.
Right, thank you, Vimal. So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Jabra PanaCast 50 launch event. It is my absolute pleasure to have all of you here and to be able to welcome you all today. So, first of all, thank you very much for taking the time to join us for this event during a very trying time for all of us. I hope you and your families are able to stay safe and healthy during this, during this lockdown as well. On top of that, Jabra wouldn't be able to be a market leader and presence in the Sri Lankan market without your support and belief in our products over the years. And for that, I want to thank you again. So today we are very, very excited to be able to bring you this cutting edge and innovative solution to the hybrid workplace that seems to have become our new normal. So with that in mind, and without further ado, let me hand it over to Peter Jayasila to get on with the show. I'm sure you're all very excited to see what we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Sujan, and appreciate that. Good morning, everybody. You are our dear and valued customers in Sri Lanka. I really thank you for the business that you've given us over the last so many years, and more so during this tough COVID period. And thank you again for your patronage. I really appreciate the opportunity given today to launch this exciting product today. So what I'm looking to do in the next 10 to 15 minutes is to give you a view as to how the world or the working world or the workplace is changing in the last 18 to 20 months. So we have all seen that when from almost 100% working in the office during pandemic, we may almost did 100% working from home. So people, organizations like Microsoft have seen 625% increase in active users of Teams, from January 2020 to 21. At least 69% of the employees polled, this is global, right, who have said that at least they're working one day in a week at home. And 83% of the employees have said that they've successfully shifted working from home. So essentially what has happened earlier when we said we went to work, it typically meant that we went to a physical location. But over the last few years, and more so in the last 12 to 15 months, this definition has changed. So work is not really a physical location or a place where you go to. Work essentially is defined as what you do, right? So literally you're sitting at home, go into your room, close the door, or open up your laptop, connect your headset, connect it to the internet, bam, that becomes your office. Or this could happen in a coffee shop, or this could even happen in a car, right? So essentially that transition from the work definition of going to a physical location to what you do as work kind of got reinforced in the last 12 to 15 months. So which is an exciting time that and technology played a great part in enabling something like this. What has happened because of this, and at least in the last 12 to 15 months, we've seen that people have successfully transitioned to working from home, and they've all said that the work-life balance has become much better. So people are talking about 73% of the people felt the work-life balance is good. Essentially, the biggest thing, especially in places like India, for example, and to a certain extent Sri Lanka, right? The commute time used to be crazy. So 79% of the people felt that the commute time reduced, and that was great for them. And 46% of the people felt that they were able to spend more time with their family. So that was very important. That was the upside that was happening. While that happened and things were good, but we were beginning to see that there were some rumblings of not so good things happening during this work from home, right? One is typically noise One is typically, fight for space at home, fight for bandwidth from home. But from a office perspective, productivity, though did not really suffer too much, there were certain areas where problems started happening. For instance, when you induct a new person, at least I have two people in our in this place. In this call, my own people. I haven't even met them right from the interview, from the time they've already joined, right? So that's what has happened. So many organizations have brought in people and they're new into the organization. So when you're there physically and meeting and chatting with people, I think the bonding and integration or induction becomes much more effective and much more faster. So at least 17% of the new hires felt that they are not, completely, they don't feel completely inducted into an organization, because you can't do these one-on-one chats. Similarly, things like brainstorming, proposing new ideas. Sometimes when you're sitting in a room together and chatting face to face, makes it much more convenient and much more productive in these things. So there were areas where you're beginning to see rumblings happening from 100% work from home. So we have also seen that a lot of senior executive, for instance, Tim Cook of Apple, started saying, "Hey, listen, we need to come back to office and start working." So a poll was done by PwC, where they asked people as to how many days do you think that you will want to come back to work. Obviously, right from somebody saying that, no, I don't even want to come back to work, to all 5 days. But generally, on an average, one felt that 3 days in a week, 3 days per week, coming to office would be the right mix. Now, it could be 2, it could be 4, but this is the average that we saw. But what this was essentially indicating is that um, certainly return to office is happening. But it is also means that employees are saying that, listen, I don't want to come back 100% to work too. So there has to be this mode where both will happen. In fact, I read a report which talks about many people, many employees saying that they will quit if they are asked to come 100% back to work. So that is the extent to which this 15 months has transformed the working life. So we believe that where we are now hit is from a work in office to a work from home to something flexible and a hybrid work. So we believe that flexible and hybrid work is going to be the new normal. Now, if this is going to be the new normal, what is it that we'll have to think of? Because there are going to be change in the way we work, we know, but there is a need for change in the infrastructure. So office spaces will have to change. For instance, typically offices will turn into more an open office, because you may not be able to have 100% of people at any time. So you'll have a hybrid work, but even then you might have a limited attendance that is allowed from a space perspective. So it'll become an open office concept, maybe a hotel concept. There'll be a lot of smaller rooms or huddle rooms, as we call, that'll come into picture. More and more brainstorming has to happen. More and more collaboration will happen. So which means more video will come into picture than just voice. And then there'll be need for mobility. There'll be need for people to move around and chat and not be fixated to one desk. And then more importantly, it is important to build a safe workplace. So we believe that this is the change that is already started happening in different parts of the world. And clearly for the next 6 to 12 months, you will start seeing people coming back to work in a limited manner. And when they happen, they will find the workspaces being different, and the technology deployed will also be different. Now, when you come to technology being different, what is it required? For instance, I would divide that into two parts. One is the from our perspective, right? There is an audio requirement and there is a video requirement. From an audio perspective, clearly when you have an open office, when you need to have collaboration, there are times where you will require quiet time or quiet space to concentrate. So you'll need concentration zone. You'll need ability to move around. For instance, you're coming to work, you need to be connected to your office. So movement or flexibility or mobility will be something that you may want to look at. Then you may want to look at noise levels can be high. Working from home at work, for instance, you have a different kind of a noise where you have chatter around, whereas at home you have completely different type of noise, which is a different decibel level. For instance, a cutlery clanking, a dog barking, a doorbell ringing, all these are different decibel levels. different noise levels compared to what is seen in the office. So what Jabra did essentially was in the last 12 months, we came up with this array or innovation. We innovated and came out with this array of new range of products called as Evolve 2, starting from an Evolve 230 to Evolve 240, which are wired, to Evolve 265 and Evolve 285, which are wireless. So this range of products essentially help you in the work from home and in a hybrid world. It helps in concentration, it helps in collaboration, it gives you that flexibility to move around, and more importantly, these are intelligent headsets. A lot of data is thrown up in this, and your organization could use the data through their APIs and SDKs that we make it available, free of cost, to understand the usage pattern, to possibly various analysis you could do to equip your employees to be more productive. So this was as far as voice goes. Now, when voice is there, the other thing that we have seen is the video taking off. As people say now, video is the new voice, because I think when you talk face to face, when you see the other people's reaction, you'll be able to communicate better. You'll be able to tailor conversations much better when you talk to people face to face. That is not possible. So video kind of helps bridging that. So we also realized that there are certain things that were required as pain points even in a regular video that was available, right? So we realized that, and I'm very pleased to say that we recently launched, and we believe that we've kind of reinvented. There are so many audio and video bars available in the market. We clearly believe that we have reinvented this video bar for the new normal, and I'm really happy to launch the PanaCast 50, which you'll see is completely a different design and different functionalities, which takes care of the pain points. I'll now hand it over to my colleague Vinod, who will take you through the product and actually do a live demo. Thank you for bringing a great audience, and please stay safe. And I'm really looking forward to visiting Sri Lanka the moment it is allowed and it is safe to do. Thank you so much. Vinod, over to you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for the this one insights, and friends, let me just unveil the Jabra PanaCast 50 for you. So good morning, friends. So So you got to see what the Jabra PanaCast 50 is all about, and what all it can do in that short video. Let me take you through in the next 20 to 25 minutes as to how our workspace is transforming as we get back into the office. So in the last 15 to 18 months, when we started moving our offices to home, so that's the typical WFH, or the work from home culture. That was something which was unknown in this part of the world. Started to set in, and here we are. Otherwise, it would have been the proudest moment to meet up with you all, shake hands, physically converse. And I mean, we are in the most of the testing times, and when we get back into office, the office also looks entirely transformed. When I say transformed, probably we will not have broken down the old office and rebuilt a new office. Of course, every organization is going through the financial constraints. But having said that, the way we conduct our business from our office or meeting rooms transform drastically. So typically our usual office huddle rooms or the meeting rooms used to be like, we would have a display on the wall. We would just go plug in multiple cables to our laptops, maybe a USB cable, maybe a HDMI cable. There would be sometimes pop-up boxes on the table, pulling out cables from those pop-up boxes. People used to complain not to sit very close to the screen because not everyone was covered in the room. I mean, we had so many challenges, right? But when we get back to office, what we see in our office is what we used to see in our office, rather, when we left the workspace maybe about 15, 18 months back. This was the meeting room, typically where, and this is what it is pretty much in the subcontinent, what I would generally see and have been seeing in the last decade or so. We typically have a screen, a long table, people sitting on either side of the table, the most important person sitting right in front of the camera. So this is a tradition that we have actually inculcated and grown up with. And those days we were really not bothered about sitting very close to one another because we hardly knew anything called as a COVID-19 or a pandemic situation. But when we get back to office, the same rooms would have got transformed into a new looking workspace, which means to say, as I said, nothing would be broken up, but only thing is we might see every alternate chair in the office probably with a cross mark, or sometimes the facilities might have even pulled out those chairs and left out with only a few chairs. Now, we could also see a lot of our friends sitting in the meeting room with the mask on, because obviously these are the closed workspace areas and people would not like to take chances. Of course, our rooms will still remain the same with the traditional whiteboard or the glass board. The collaboration, the way we collaborate, the way we interact would probably change a bit, because you might probably see our colleagues in the mask and not being able to see their smile or see them what we used to normally do. Having said that, when we move back into the office, typically when we used to huddle around and sit in the traditional way, we had noticed that our cameras used to have the cameras in the office, which was deployed by our IT or facility, used to have certain constraints where people probably could not sit very close to the display, or that was the reason why every chair was put next to one another, so that everyone was squeezed into the coverage area. Now, typically, what we generally saw in the market were the cameras of 80-degree field of view or 120-degree field of view, etc., which typically used to capture only a certain amount of people within the room, like what you see here. Why we are seeing only these three people? Because the camera with a 120-degree field of view would not be able to capture the ones who were very close. So that was when we as Jabra thought, like, why are we not covering the entire room? Why can't we allow people to sit where they want and where they are comfortable? And in fact, we were probably ahead of the curve, ahead of times, even much before the pandemic. And we started thinking of a camera which could cover 180 degrees, which means to say everything from this wall to this wall and everything in between. And now that gives a flexibility to our colleagues to sit wherever they want, which means to say they can be socially distanced and they are covered and captured in entirety. And that's where today I'm proud to present the Jabra PanaCast 50, which is now positioned as the video bar reinvented. So when we say video bar reinvented, this is a device which has been brought into the market during the pandemic. And that's the reason why we are proudly saying that this is the world's first new normal ready intelligent video bar. In fact, when we built this device, we had 4 key pillars or the fundamental aspects that as Jabra we envisaged could be the riding factors or the path-breaking trends when we get our colleagues back into the office. So just to take you through with what were those key fundamental pillars that we concentrated upon, because this was a device which we built entirely during the pandemic or the lockdown phase. So one, we wanted to have the video intelligently operate, which means to say we wanted to take the control out of the purview of erstwhile remote controls or touch controls, so that everyone in the meeting or in a virtual meeting could be an active participant and not bother about controlling the camera or becoming a controller of the meeting. That was one of the key aspects. Second thing is we wanted any of our collaboration meetings have to be very meaningful unless we have the best of the audio, because video could be great, but if you don't hear me properly or if my audio is crackling all the while, that actually puts off the essence of the meeting, and then we are not 100% efficient in conveying what we were supposed to do. So we brought in the expertise, 151-year-old expertise of Jabra in building, where we have been building outstanding audio products, and that expertise has been brought into this device to make it a truly outstanding audio device as well. So in combination with the intelligent video and the outstanding audio, it makes it one of the best of the devices available on the planet today. We took care of the video, we took care of the audio. Not to leave out, the most important aspect is how do we ensure the safety of our colleagues when we get them back into office. So that was one of the thinking hats that engineers in Jabra started working upon. And today I'm proud to tell you and put forth the fact that our devices can ensure the safety of our colleagues while they are conducting a business meeting. When I say business meeting, you just heard me right. Yes, it is. It could be a video meeting, or it could even be a in-person meeting. Our devices are today capable of ensuring and alerting people within the room when there is a compromise in the safety aspects of the people within the room. Not to leave behind, I know many of you over here in this call are technology professionals and IT professionals. So the paramount importance for you would be how do our device ensure security and safety on your network while you are conducting a business meeting. Not to worry, we have taken care of these aspects as well. I will take you through each and every aspect in detail for the next 10 minutes. The last thing we kept in mind was to build a device that even a child could operate. So keeping in mind the flexibility, we today can proudly say our device can operate in various environments that you would like to deploy it in, be it in a bring your own device concept or bring your own meeting concept. We have partnered with ecosystem, or having a fully functional setup within the room where you need not even walk with your device. So whatever be your use case, we are having a proud ecosystem partners such as Lenovo, HP, BARCO, etc., to cater to your flexibility needs and to truly make our devices that much more flexible. Now let us, I talked about the intelligent video and all these 4 key pillars. Let us just step in a bit in detail into what I mean by the intelligent video. Now, how would you feel when when I am actually talking to you? I feel that I am right now face to face. Although, as I said, I'm physically not able to shake hands with you, but giving the same this one. Now, probably, if I had a colleague in this room who would probably walk into this meeting maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes later, I should really be not bothered whether that person is where that person sits, where the person whether the person is covered or captured by the camera. I mean, these are something which actually tends to put you off in a meeting because your concentration level gets diverted. So what we did is we engaged our camera in such a way that if you notice, from the traditional video conferencing devices that are available in the market, Jabra PanaCast 50 has a unique patented technology of 3 camera visions. So we have 3 4K 13.3 megapixel cameras, which stitches out a panoramic 40 megapixel video frame. Now, what does that mean? Why do we need a 180-degree field of view? As I said in the past, when we have our colleagues walking in, and if they obviously they want to be safe, somebody might come, pull out a chair and try to sit far away from me. The other person might walk in, pull the chair and try to sit about 2 meters away from me. So when that is the case, the device has to be intelligent to start panning out and covering each and everyone wherever the person is seated and not leaving out anyone. So that only then we truly bring out a immersive meeting experience. To provide that, we tutored our cameras with 9 path-breaking AI processors, out of which 7 are cut out to perform particularly assigned tasks such as video, audio, content, collaboration, etc. Then there are 2 most powerful edge AI processors, which actually carry out the computational and algorithmic decision making on the device. So truly, it eliminates the end user intervention to control the device. So it automatically does and takes decision on its own based on the situational requirement. Having said that, from the intelligent zoom aspect, let us take a step further. Now we are talking about rooms where people can comfortably sit. Obviously, our room sizes would be bigger in that case. So we might require a room of about 4.5 meter or 5 meter in width and likewise in depth. So which approximately translates to a 10, 12 or 14 packs type of room, depending on how our seating arrangements are laid out. So in that case, I could probably have a colleague of mine who might be sitting at about 14 or 15 feet away from the screen. There could be another colleague who might be about 10, 12 feet away from this. So when these people start speaking, if the camera is not, or the device is not intelligent enough to capture their expression, capture their message, then I think we would have got defeated in the purpose. So what we did is we brought in a technology where our cameras today can actually capture a person, even if he or she is about 14 or 15 feet away from the device. Now, of course, you might ask me what is great about this. We have the speaker tracking technology available in the market for well over a decade. Yes, those technologies were available. Let me say were, because if you have noticed, the speaker tracking technology was built, as I said, a decade ago when we were not through the pandemic. So obviously, those cameras were trained to detect the facial markers of human beings, like nose, lip movement, voice, etc. Now, in these unprecedented times, we could have our colleagues sitting in the meeting room with the face mask on. If you ask me personally, I would do that. So in that circumstance, my speaker tracking camera would have failed to track that person because it is not able to read my lip movement. It is not able to read my facial parameters. So we brought in a technology using our AI sensors and machine learning called Virtual Director. I will demonstrate that to you later in the course of discussion. So Virtual Director today is able to truly capture our colleagues even with who are with the face mask on. Of course, that is on the tracking and the camera capabilities. Now, let us also look around us. What is there in the meeting room? Obviously, we find a glass board or a whiteboard, an area where we can collaborate effectively. So if you ask me, whenever I talk to my colleagues or my customers, I typically run to the whiteboard because I feel that as the most expressive area to collaborate. So having said that, when I go to a whiteboard in my meeting room and start collaborating or annotating on the whiteboard, who would be the ones who will see my colleagues within the room? And what happens for people on the other side of the meeting? They would probably be just blinking and looking at me because the whiteboard was not a concept which was thought of when cameras came into the market. Then, of course, some of our friends in the market started introducing whiteboard cameras, which started capturing the whiteboard and so on and so forth. So what we truly thought in Jabra is to bring the whiteboard also effectively into the meeting room experience. Now, we talked about the video capabilities. Let me talk about audio. As I said, a video, the best of class video without outstanding audio would kill the experience of the meeting. So thoughtfully, we brought in 8 beamforming microphones, and truly, this is the world's first device which has 8 beamforming microphones on an integrated device. Now, these are not normal condenser beamforming microphones or the MEMS mic. These are what we call as audio vector AI-based beamforming microphones. So basically, the purpose of these beamforming microphones are these 8 microphones are positioned in such a way that they encompass the entire 180-degree room coverage up to 17 to 18 feet with crystal clear audio pickup. And as the name suggests, these are audio vector based. So it picks up the audio based on the vector analysis where a person is precisely talking from, conveys that information to the Edge AI processor, which processes that audio and then instructs the camera to look at that person as the active speaker. So all in all, our audio, Edge AI and the video camera works in conjunction to give you the virtual director experience. I talked about the audio pickup. Now, how is the audio delivery? You would obviously be interested with that. So not to worry, we have 4 speaker systems, 2 20 mm tweeters and 2 50 mm woofers. So all in all, they give you a complete immersive audio experience. So let me reiterate, we are not using an audio sound bar. So this is a communication device. So the audio has to be crystal clear, it has to be soothing, and it has to give you an experience which is immersive for long duration meeting. And that's what we take care. Of course, we have all the features such as noise cancellation, echo suppression, people whisper, keyboard suppression, etc. Now, talking about the how do we ensure the safety of our colleagues? What we did is, today you can tutor our device, or today you can put the capacity of your meeting room on our device. So the device knows as to what is the capacity of the room, and then if it exceeds the capacity, what it does is it brings up an automatic alert to the people like this.
Room capacity has been exceeded. Please reduce the number of people in this room.
So this audio alert comes up even when there is one additional people or one additional person more than the assigned safety capacity. So you would get this audio alert so that people know that they are not in the safe environment. Then if you want to capture this alerts, if you want to manage these devices centrally, not to worry. We have a centralized management tool called as Jabra Express, which is SOC 2 compliant, which complies with the GDPR regulation. And this is hosted on the Microsoft Azure platform. And you can securely and safely manage your device on the network. So whether your device is in Bangalore or Mumbai or Colombo or Kandy, sitting in one location, you can manage your device, carry out software updates, carry out software upgrades, and also get the room violation analytics or what's happening in each of the room. Not only that, you could also get email alerts to designated admins of the room whenever there is a room violation. Does this all sound interesting? Of course, the device, keeping the aesthetics of your meeting room in mind, we have two colors of the device. One is the gray color and other is the black one. Not to worry about any of the electronics. They are all safely taken care because we don't have any moving parts like fans. It is using a naturally aspirated air vent. So your devices are safe and secure within the room. We are certified by Microsoft for Microsoft Teams, both on Microsoft Teams app as well as for Microsoft Teams Room. We are certified by Zoom Zoom for Zoom applications and Zoom Room systems. Now, talking about the flexibility, you have the choice of mounting the device on the wall mount, or if you want to keep it on your credenza, we have the optional table stand, or if you want to mount it on mobile trolleys, we have the optional screen mount. So this gives you a complete flexibility in terms of deployment. Now, coming to the flexibility of use, of course, you can either connect the Jabra PanaCast 50 directly using the USB cable provided to your laptop or your own device, or you could connect it via a USB dock. So we partner with ecosystem partners such as Stargurus, Kensington, and Lenovo, who have the world-class docks. So the use case is basically you can have a single connectivity between your computer and the dock, and the dock takes care of rest of the connection. Or moving a step further, if you do not want to have any cables on your strewn up on your table, or if you want to truly go wireless, yes, we have our ecosystem partners such as BARCO, with whom we partner worldwide, and you can truly make your room wireless. So, and the connectivity, of course, even you do not have to connect your PanaCast 50 physically into your laptop. So this is truly a bring your own meeting concept. You just walk into your meeting room. You can create a secure tunnel between the device and the BARCO encoder. Not only that, you can spin up any of your video application, be it Teams or Zoom or whatever it is, and you can securely get on a video call. If you have a colleague who might probably want to present using an iPad or a handheld device, that can also be done simultaneously because the BARCO CLICKSHARE supports 2 simultaneous content presentation sources. Of course, there are some of our customers who would like to use the Microsoft Teams Room or Zoom Room system, and we allow that as well because we are a certified partner on this ecosystem. Now, you have heard me enough, and let me just stop this slideshow and take you through with the demo. So I talked about the intelligent Zoom. So basically what I want to show you is I will put myself on the mute and move to a different location in the room. The intelligent Zoom tracks me intelligently. Does that sound interesting? Now, talking about the virtual director concept. If I imagine, I talked about our colleagues walking into the meeting room with the face mask on. So now what the virtual director does is when I take a position in the room, I am about 10 feet away from the device. And when I start speaking, you are able to see me put up on the center of the screen. My face is not recognizable because I am wearing a face mask. So let me just give you a glimpse of it. If I change my position in the room and start speaking, imagine this was another person sitting diametrically opposite and who is speaking. The camera is able to track seamlessly. And this is the functionality of the virtual director. Now, I talked about the whiteboard concept, and I know you are all eager to see how the whiteboard seamlessly works. So not to worry, basically it's one click, and when as a presenter, I go to the whiteboard, you are able to see me, and the whiteboard becomes my background because our 3 camera pipelines or the 3 camera sensors can do a perspective correction of the whiteboard and put it exactly orthogonal to the camera, exactly parallel to the camera. So here, whatever I write on the whiteboard, you are able to see that very clearly. You are able to see the presenter very clearly. And this is what we can achieve. So it need not be just a whiteboard. It could be a blackboard or it could be a glass board. And I'm using the time-tested whiteboard marker and our most reliable physical whiteboard. Does that sound interesting? Now, if you see, the whiteboard is not straight also. It is kept on a stand. It is at an angle. Now, not to worry about the safety as well. We have the remote control, but that is an optional accessory. So you need not worry about the safety of your people because as most of the people, I mean, agencies like WHO, etc., they say COVID spreads through particle diffusion. So a lot of people are worried, like if the remote is on the table and if somebody has sneezed or coughed in the close proximity and those particles have got deposited on this, what happens if I touch this? I might contract an infection. Not to worry about that. We have also thoughtfully done that because we have enabled our devices, smart devices like the Android and the iOS, the Apple phones, with an app called as the Jabra Sound Plus app. So when I walk into a meeting room, the device can actually, I can just launch the Jabra Sound Plus app, and my PanaCast 50 is detected based on the NFC or the near field contact. So with that, I can just give one tap onto the this one, and my virtual remote comes up. So here I have the entire conference room in my control. Does this have sound interesting? And are you now convinced that we have taken care of all the aspects that I talked about? With that, thanks very much for presenting to you the details on Jabra PanaCast 50. I will now hand it over to my colleague Sundar, who will open the forum for Q&A.
Thank you so much, Vinod. So I'm pretty sure that the audience is quite excited to know more about the product. I'm sure there are some questions. So some requests. So if you have any questions about the presentation, about the product, please click on the raise your hand button, which is available on the top of your screen. Please click on it, and then I will tell your name. You can unmute yourselves, and then you can ask your question to the presenters. So let's see who has the first question.
I guess you could also type it in the chat window and Sundar can read it out to us.
Yeah. The best question, the person who asked the best question will also get a surprise gift. Okay, we got the first question. This is from Mr. Rangajiva. Jabra Evolve 30 headphones, earpads have problem on many users. It must be replaced within 1 year. It is main issue for me in my organization.
Thank you for bringing that up. Ima, if you could have Imal or Infas, if you can have the details and let us know, we will have that sorted out. Yeah.
Yeah, we will do that.
So the next question is
Suresh,
come from Mr. Suresh. Yes, sir. You can unmute yourself and you can ask the question. Mr. Suresh, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the question. Or if you feel comfortable with the chat, you can even try the chat option as well. Okay, there is one question. So what is the maximum capacity we can use PanaCast 50?
Okay, so as I said, it is basically for a room size of 4.5 meter to 4.5 meter, or maximum of 5 meter by 5 meter. So that is from the floor area. So I have seen a lot of customers having a 5 meter by 5 meter room, which is anywhere between 8 to 10 seater. There are customers who have, it is again how the layout of the room is drawn up and how the seating arrangements are. So I would typically say it is anywhere between 10 to 12 seater type of.
So Vinod, let me have a different viewpoint on that. So from a pure answer to the question perspective, the answer is as many as you can bring in, right? Typically, if then that 5 by 5, if 50 people can stand, the PanaCast 50 doesn't have an issue about showing. So it is not a limitation of the PanaCast. But I think more importantly, what we got to look at is how safe it is for so many people to be there. So our recommended thing is about the 12. Possibly we have seen doing 14 and all that. But for a room size of that, anything more than 10, 12, you will not have enough space between yourself, and it could be a safety issue. That's about it. But maybe 2 years down the line, COVID is behind us. You could do a a town hall meeting for a team of 30 people in that room or 20 people. So it is not a issue of the PanaCast, but it's more a safety norm. That's it. Okay, Sundar, you could read out the other question.
Yeah. So the next question is, what is the power consumption of PanaCast 50 in terms of how many watts does it consume?
Is it power consumption or is it the speaker?
So how many watts on PanaCast 50?
So I presume it's a speaker. Vinod, can you?
Yes. So I will address, because it's yeah, just the wattage. I will address both the issues. So basically, if it is from the audio perspective, as I said, it is not an audio sound bar. So only the audio sound bars, what we commercially get for our TVs, are the ones where you go by the PMPO, peak music power output, or the RMS, root mean square audio outputs. Having said that, the speakers are 20 watt capable speakers, and these are tuned for collaboration. This one. So if you expect a boombox effect or a high bass effect, we would not be offering that. It is tuned and refined for the collaboration. So that's where it is called the zero vibration or the vibration free speaker alignments. And coming to the audio, if it is an audio watt, the power wattage, it comes with a 65 watt power adapter.
So Vinod, the next question is there an option to cancel the echo noise?
That is inbuilt into the system. So how the system is tutored using the machine learning is, when you deploy the PanaCast 50 for the first time in your room, there are different acoustic environments in a given room. You might have an all glass wall on one side. You might have an acoustically treated fabric cladded wall on other side. There could be a gypsum wall on the opposite side and a concrete wall behind the TV. So you already got 4 different acoustic environments. Plus you have the false ceiling, and you also have some rooms with carpets. So that makes it 6, right? In such circumstances, everything matters from the audio experience. So what we have tutored our through machine learning on our AI sensors is, when you go towards the glass wall or whatever medium and set up a call either on Teams or Zoom and have a conversational audio, when the camera captures you and tracks you, it also picks up the acoustics of the room and then sets itself in the memory, and it is self or auto-tuned for that room environment. So to answer that, yes.
We've got quite a few questions, so maybe you can directly look at the messages and start answering. Yeah, so can we, the next question, I guess, Sundar, you can answer by the time we can see.
Yeah, so can we connect the Jabra 710, Speak 710 directly to PanaCast 50?
No, you cannot connect a Speak 710 to the PanaCast 50, and there is no requirement for that. As I said, it has 8 beamforming microphones and 4 speakers, which can actually cover and encompass your room. So the intent is not to have clutters on the table. So there is no requirement for that.
Okay, and next question is, can we connect via MS Teams?
Absolutely. We are right now on a live MS Teams call, and tomorrow if you have MS Teams on the Microsoft Teams room, yes, we are a Microsoft Alliance partner. We are a developmental partner. All our devices are certified on MS Teams.
What is the price of the device?
I think before that you skipped a question. Do we need separate public link for Jabra setup, or can we set up with existing shared link?
I did not understand that. For setting up a device, you don't need to have a public link. All that you probably need is the Jabra Direct, which can be downloaded. If that is the question, yes, the Jabra Direct can be downloaded from jabra.com site, and that is the only application you need for one-time setup. You don't have to roll it out for everyone. So
yeah,
if that answers.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to know if the room size is very large, any possibility to synchronize the two cameras?
No one can. Sorry.
No,
I did
he's
not.
asking, Vinod, if the room is big, he's wondering whether we can put two cameras and sync it. I don't know. We can put.
Yeah, you can do that.
For a university, we did something. So maybe
Yes,
you can give
you
that
can
example.
technically do that. There are applications where you can sync two cameras. Technically, you can do that.
Okay, fine, thanks.
There are instances where using two cameras, people want to give a 360-degree coverage. Yes, you can do.
Okay, thanks. That's
There are third-party applications to sync both the cameras. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, maybe considering the paucity of time, we will take one more question, and the rest of the questions we will respond to you via email. So let me take the last question. How about the portability of this device in case if we require to change the location? Also the installation of the device.
Absolutely, very, very portable. So I mean, in fact, it is so light. It is the lightest video device with fully loaded features. You can probably hold the device. Let me just show you the device per se, so that you will have the first hand this one. So you can actually hold the device with 2 fingers, and this is the Jabra PanaCast 50. Sorry.
So I think just to give you a view, we also have a table mount, right? So which itself shows that it is a portable device. So if you put it on the table with a table mount, you can take it to any other room and use it. Obviously, if you fix it to the wall, then there is this element of removing that is there. But yes, it is.
And what we have also done for the benefit is we also give a template where you can just keep this template beneath your TV and you drill the holes to mount it on the wall. So the wall mount is also very aesthetically done. You can just pin up the unit to the wall mount and take it out of the this one. So it is a clip type wall mount. So the wall mount will be on your wall and the device just clips onto your wall mount.
Okay, I think there is Vinod. I think there is also some interesting question in my opinion. How does the video output look when two people are talking at the same time? I guess at the virtual director function. Maybe you can explain. We are already at 12, so.
So if both the people are sitting next to one another, both of them will be framed. If two people are on diametrically opposite side of the room, the camera will go into the panoramic view like this. So basically it would turn out into the panoramic view and show the person to the right and person to the left. But if both of them are sitting next to one another, and typically I have seen two people cannot simultaneously talk. So one of them will back off. So once the person stops, it will start focusing on the person who is actively speaking.
Right. So Sundar, we are running out of time. So we will make sure that we respond to all the questions. Yeah. And maybe send out the response question and the response to all the participants so they know what it is. Yeah. Thank you.
Definitely. So now I will hand it over to Imal for the closing note. Over to you, Imal.
Yeah, thank you, Sundar. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the attendees who joined and actively participate in this live event. I'd like to specially thank the Jabra team, including Managing Director Peter Jayasilan, Enterprise Manager Swaminathan, Business Manager Vinod Kumar, National Business Manager Kaushal Kumar, and Enterprise Marketing Manager Sundar Ganeshan for sharing the product knowledge and supporting the organization event. At the same time, I would like to thank our CEO, Mr. Kanchan Silva, Director, Mr. Sujan Suresh, General Manager, Mr. Infos Falin, Senior Marketing Manager, Mr. Chamishka, and my team for helping to organize this event. So ZILLIONe team is equipped with the demo devices. So please share your requests for a demo requirements. Our team will happy to help you on the requirements. Once again, thank you all for joining us today. Take care and stay safe.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Have a nice day.
Everyone.
Stay safe.